Hi Mahesh, good morning.
Hi, sir. Good morning, sir. So today we are going to download it. Sir.
Sorry Mahesh, you were saying something?
Today we are going to download Linux.
Yeah, so I have already shared the
Yeah, sir.
links, right?
Files is
Yeah,
there.
download and keep them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good morning Gopi, good morning Satvika, good morning Bhanu.
Good morning.
We'll
Good
get
morning, sir.
good morning. We'll wait for 2 to 3 minutes more and then we'll get started. Good morning Anand.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Let's get started. I'm sorry we couldn't do the class yesterday because I was working till very early in the morning. So today we'll continue from where we left earlier. So we learned about many basic Linux commands, and then we also saw how to use the inbuilt feature of Windows operating system called Hyper-V to install or enable a virtualization layer inside the operating system. That virtualization layer is called hypervisor. The Windows hypervisor is called Hyper-V, and using the Windows hypervisor Hyper-V, we were able to create a Linux, virtual machine. So today we will see a few more Linux commands which will be later used in scripting. And then we'll also see, apart from creating a Linux virtual machine, how can we create a Windows virtual machine using Hyper-V? And if time permits, we will see how to create or start using Proxmox. Okay, that will be the agenda for today. Sharing my screen. Okay, so we are going to learn about a new concept in Linux or operating systems called as variables, right? Now, what is variable? When we were learning mathematics, even during our school days, we learned algebra. And in algebra, we learned that we can take any kind of a letter or a series of letters, characters, and treat them as variables to assign some values at a later point in time. Exactly the same concept of algebra we are going to apply in operating systems, okay, wherein there will be some predefined or custom variables in the operating system. What are these variables? These variables are nothing but, if it is predefined, some value is already assigned to them, okay, some value is already assigned to them, and you can use those values in your commands, in your scripts, or wherever you want to use them. Okay, so some of the variables examples are seen here. If you see, we use the command who am I, right? And we get what is the username. But if you want to use in a command or inside a script, then the current login name can be replaced with this variable called $user. Okay. One thing you will notice that the predefined variables in the operating system, which already have some value assigned to it, will start with this letter dollar. Okay. And the actual variable name will be in capital letters. Okay. As you can see here, there is one more variable called OS type, operating system type. It is a predefined variable and it is preceded with dollar. Similarly, all these, right? So let us see in our environment how it works. Logging into Killer Coda. Okay. So what is the first command we are seeing here? First variable is OS type. So let us use this command. What does the echo command do? It just prints whatever we ask it to print, right? See, it is giving us the value of this variable called OS type. It says Linux GNU. So it's a version of Linux, and GNU means copyleft licenses, okay? Which means open source. So like this. Then $home. What is the home directory of the current user? Okay. Again, who is the current user? For that also there is a variable. Okay. KC internal. Okay. This virtual machine has been created using this user KC killer coda internal. Okay. This is the value of this variable called user. Then we have $home, then $host name. $home we have seen. Let us see host name. Host name is the name of the machine, what has been assigned to the machine. So the machine name is same as what we see on the prompt here, Ubuntu. Okay, so that's the machine name. Then we have path and shell. Let us see these. So echo $path. So this path is the path from where we are running these commands for this user. Okay, this is the path where it uses some commands. This is the path where some of the other commands are there. Then in slash user also there is one sbin. In slash user there is bin. Okay, like this. These are all the paths from where we are using the commands in shell. Then we have another variable called shell. So it tells us which shell we are using, and it says bash. Bash stands for born again shell. Okay, so like this, these are called variables. Now these variables are predefined. That means already some value has been assigned to them. And if you want to see what are all the environment variables that are there in this particular operating system, we will be able to see a list of it by typing this command called env, where env stands for environment. And you can see for shell, then present working directory, then home, then for the color schema. So what kind of a file, what color it should use. Okay, all the colors are denoted here by numbers. Then SSH connection, from where it is allowed. Then user, we see here, SSH client, path, any internal mail system. So these are all the environment variables that are there on this particular virtual machine or this particular system. Okay, by using this command env, we can see what are all the environment variables in this machine. Okay, now how do we as users set our own variables? Okay, how can we set our own variables? That means we want to not use just the environment variables, but you want to set some variables of your own, which you may want to use later during developing any program or developing any shell script or things like that. So what you can do is you need to set the value of the variable. So you need to give a variable name followed by equal to symbol and the value. Okay. And the moment you set a variable like this, again using the dollar symbol, you can retrieve the value of that variable. Okay. So let us try this. What they're trying to say here is history size. What is history size? When we give this history command, so let me show you. Okay, we see all the commands, right? 11. Okay, now let us say I want to define how many commands I should see in history like this, or how many should be actually saved in history. So we will be able to set a environment variable for it. So let's say I say history size equal to just 5. Okay, it's set. Then I give echo dollar history size. See, I get it 5. But how do we apply this? Okay. One thing you should notice that whatever user defined variables that we are setting, okay, will be applicable only to the current shell. Okay. It will be lost once you log out, right? So this is something that you have to always remember. Whenever we are setting any variable by ourselves, it will be applicable only for that particular session of the shell. Once you log out from that session by typing exit or quit, or you log in through another session parallelly, you will not be able to see the value of that variable there. Okay, let us try it. We know that we can create another shell here. Okay, let us see if right. See, we are not able to see the complete history of the other shell that we have running parallelly. And let me see if this works. See, it is showing as 1000. Whereas in the other shell, what is the value that we had set? We had set it to 5. And that is not reflecting in this shell. Okay. So you should remember that environment variables are across all shells or across the machine actually. So irrespective of which shell you are logging in through, you will see the same value. See, we are getting the same value in this shell also. Now this is shell 2, tab 2, okay? This is separate shell. But environment variable, it will remain the same because it is machine wide, okay? And it has been preset at the operating system and the kernel level, okay? So environment variables which are preset by the operating system, they will remain the same irrespective of which shell you are logging in. But when you are setting a particular variable like this, okay, and you want to use it, you can use it only in that shell, only in that user session. It will not get applicable to the other shells that are logged in to this particular machine. Okay, it is specific to that session only, as we can see here. In this session, tab 1 shell, we have put the history size to 5 and we are able to see its value. This is a user defined variable, okay, that we have put. Whereas when we go to the second shell, we see the same variable has a different value here, even though it is the same shell logged into the same machine. Okay, the variable is value is different here. Whereas the environment variable user, its value remains the same across shells. Same if you do here, you will get the same value. See, so this is the difference between an predefined operating system level variable versus a user defined variable. User defined variable is only for that shell or that user session, whereas an OS level predefined variable is for the whole machine, and the value will remain the same across any session or any shell. Okay. So you can create subshells and all. So I don't want to get into the depths of it now. We will do this later in the advanced classes. Okay. It will get too complicated for now. So we will leave this shell within a shell thing. You can reset the value of the environment variable also. Okay. And that command which is used to reset the current value of an environment variable is called export. Okay. So again, as I said, we will deal with this advanced command later because it will have a lot of impact on the machine. So we will not use that now. But here is the syntax to do that. So you can say I'm going to export this environment variable path. I will use the current one and I'm appending a new path to it like this. Okay. So this colon is very important. It will overwrite and it will add or amend to the existing. Okay. So this colon is very important. Okay. Yeah. Any question? Any question?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We will briefly learn about this command now, which is called as make file. Okay. So what make does is make helps you to create packages or create files. Okay. And this will be used when you have your own program or source code and you want to create a predefined package out of it so that you can use it on any other system. Okay. After you have build something here. So make and make file are the commands that you can use to do that. So let me just show you how this works. So first we'll understand the structure of this. See, the command make is a utility to maintain a group of programs. There are some options and there is something called as a target. Okay. So these are some of the options. If you use -b, then it will ignore the compatibility with other versions. Then -c is for the directory. Then -d is to debug. Okay. Print the debugging information. And then -e to override the environment variables. We understood what these variables are just a moment back. And ignore errors like this. Okay. So there are a lot of options. And we will use this later when we are installing packages. Okay. So if I say make, so I do that is root. I'm going to the root directory and here I'm making a directory called test make, and then I will move to that directory so that the present working directory is test make, and here I will say okay. So we have to put some rules as to what this test file will do, but we will learn them later. Okay, it will get a little complicated. Uh, right now, I don't want you to get confused. That's why I'm not getting into the details of it, but we will get into the details once we are learning how to create our own shell script and all. Okay. All right. Any questions until now, whatever we have learned? Okay. Now I will stop sharing. Manu, you're there?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Can you share your screen? Yeah. Let's go into Hyper-V Manager. Okay. We have, okay, it's not running. Fine. Don't run it now. Wait. So we will create one more machine. This time we will use Windows. We will try to create a Windows machine, Windows Server operating system. So can you create a new virtual machine here, Manu?
Okay, sir.
So right click and say new virtual machine. So we'll try to give the same size as what we had given for the Linux virtual machine. So here you can say VM underscore test underscore Windows, VM win, whatever. Yeah, you can select the location, generation 2.
Application, I prefer to change.
You can keep it there.
Change to date.
Okay, okay. So next, generation 2. Yes. Yeah, keep it same and use dynamic memory. Fine. 4 MB. Yeah, connection, same default switch. Next. Yes, virtual hard disk size you give us same 50 GB. Okay. Next. Yes, install an operating system. Uh, but do you have the ISO of Windows?
I have, sir, but I need to copy it.
Okay, can you do that? Which version of Windows do you have?
2019.
Okay. Anu, can you check the time zone on your machine? I think it's showing a different time. You're in the US. Time and language. Yeah. Change the time zone. Come down, come down. No, no, not minus, plus, plus 5.5. The top one. Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai, New Delhi. Yes. Okay. Set time automatically. Yeah, fine. Are you doing it in a different screen, Bhanu? Okay. No, you're here.
Yes.
Oh, from where are you copying? We are not able to see anything on the screen.
Sir, sorry.
Is the copy happening? From where are you copying? We are not able to see anything on the screen.
Copy from my another laptop, sir.
On the Wi-Fi LAN you are copying.
Yes.
Okay. So while this is happening, shall we finish the creation of virtual machine, or and we add OS later?
It's about to complete, so you can directly add and complete.
Hmm. How much time it's showing for the copy to complete?
Just few seconds, sir.
Sorry,
Just few seconds.
not able to hear you. Ah, okay. Great. So this is also showing up as a disk image file. Can you show the complete file name, Bhanu?
Yes.
Yes, and right click on it, see the properties. See, this is also a .iso file, just like our Linux. Now this is for Windows. You see type of file in the second line, it says .iso disk image. Okay. The earlier one was for Red Hat Linux. This is for Windows operating system. Okay. Fine. Cancel this. Yeah. We will use this file to load Windows operating system in this new machine. Now note that this Windows operating system is completely different from the Windows operating system that is already running on Bhanu's laptop. Okay. The operating system that is running on Bhanu's laptop is Windows 10. Bhanu, can you show that? Right click on Start, go to Properties, or you can go to Computer Management, wherever, System, Computer Management, wherever. Yeah, better go to System only. We'll just show the OS
Yeah.
version. Yeah, you see there 64-bit operating system, Windows 11. Okay, this is the OS that is running on Bhanu's laptop. Okay, on this we already created a virtual machine with a different operating system, which is Linux. Okay, that's a server class operating system. Okay, that is meant to work with server class processors. Okay, so but this Windows 11 is meant to run on laptops and desktops. Okay, not on servers, but using the hypervisor called Hyper-V, we are virtualizing the hardware. We are creating another layer of abstraction on the hardware, and after creating that layer of abstraction or enabling a hypervisor, in this case Hyper-V, we are able to create even a server class operating system virtual machine inside a normal laptop or a desktop class operating system. Okay, so that's the power of virtualization. Okay, it can really abstract the complete hardware layer from the operating system. Okay, yeah, we'll close this and we'll go ahead with creation of this virtual machine. Select the ISO file for Windows operating system. Yes, click on next. This is giving a summary. Name of the new virtual machine will be VM underscore win. It will be a generation 2 class virtual machine. Amount of memory will be 4 GB. It will use the same network connectivity as that of the laptop. The virtual hard disk which will get assigned to this virtual machine is will be 50 GB in size, and that is the path where it will get stored, and then the operating system will be installed from this ISO image. Okay, yes, click on finish. Can you open the task manager? Okay. CPU is CPU and disk also. The reason why this is taking time is because the hardware, click on that CPU also. Yeah. So we are pushing the limits of this hardware. Okay. The CPU, we are really pushing it hard. So it's not able to clock more than this. Okay. And the hard disk, even though it is SSD, we understood in our basic course that SSDs are the faster variants of HDD, right? No spinning drives, only electrical components. But still, it is not enough, as you see. Okay. And did it take so much time for Linux? No. Windows is a heavy operating system. Okay. It is not as light as Unix or Linux. And hence, it uses a lot more resources than Linux operating system. And that is one of the reasons why, even though Windows is easier to use and work with, it is it may not give the performance that you may need in a data center. And that is the reason why you will see many software developers, they will always create their programs to have a version running on Linux and then also have a version running on Windows. When you are doing these activities in a much bigger hardware with more processing power, more RAM, and more hard disk, it may not be, as slow as this. Okay, it may be, much faster, but more or less the process with Hyper-V remains the same. Okay, whether the base operating system is Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 2022, or Windows to 2019, 2016, most of it is the process of creating a virtual machine using Hyper-V is this only, the same. And when we are choosing that OS image, you can choose any compatible image. Okay. So on Hyper-V, certain OS images are compatible. Okay. There are versions of Ubuntu, CentOS, Red Hat Linux, then various versions of Windows that are supported. So you can choose the ISO image of any such version and the entire process remains the same. Okay. So whatever we are learning right now on Hyper-V, you can be rest assured that the same process you can follow on any machine across the globe. Is it done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So disable the secure boot. Yeah, click on OK. And now, yeah, let's start this virtual machine. It is starting up. While it is starting, press any key. So this CD or DVD is nothing but that ISO file that we had selected. Bhanu, is it moving
Ask.
forward?
Actually, I think it's taking some time
Ah,
already.
maybe the OS image is corrupt or something like that. So just close this.
Sir, I'm using the same file every time.
What are you trying to do?
Sorry,
What are you trying to do now?
I'm trying to add the drive, sir.
Go to run. Start run.
Not working. I'm copying another file.
Just a minute. Let me take control. Can you allow me control?
Yes, sir, I still
You escape this, Bhanu. Go back to Hyper-V Manager.
Optimization.
Yeah, you stop this machine. Yeah, try to see if you can changes to a generation one. Why is it
Generation.
merging? Cancel merge process. There is a option of merge succeeded. Okay.
There is no option to change
So
that.
you delete this machine. You delete this machine
Okay.
and let us create a new one. Right click. Yeah. Delete. Delete. When you delete a virtual machine like that, all the data inside that machine is gone forever. Okay. Unless you had a backup of it, there is no way you can recover. So very careful when we are trying to delete a virtual machine. So what Bhanu did was just check if that VM underscore win was still present under the Hyper-V folder. So it was not there. So we'll go ahead and create a new one. Yes. Click on virtual machine. Yeah. Select next. So maybe this ISO image was not compatible to generation 2. So we will try give a different name, Bhanu. Hmm. Next, use generation 1.
It's 64-bit only, sir.
No, no.
Can see this.
Let us use the second one which you copied. But
Uh,
okay, we'll try with this. Hmm.
Generation 2 only.
Um, See, this has UEFI based firmware. So I'm not sure that your ISO image you have supports UEFI boot or not. That's why. Try generation 1, it will come. It should come.
Using the same, sir, for every while
Yeah,
I'm
it will have.
creating a VM using UEFI book only.
Okay, we will see. Next. Yeah, this is just the location of the. You can put it there. Yeah, 50 GB. Select the ISO image. Hmm. Next. Yeah. Finish. It's done. In settings, no secure mute. Okay.
Storage verification. Okay.
Hmm. Close this. Hmm. Start the VM. First, you need to start. Hmm. Yes. Now you connect. Any error coming up in the backend?
Not it's loading.
Hmm. Can you connect or go to that connection screen? Yeah.
Loading page is not visible here, sir, but we can see it here.
Yeah. 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 Just give it a few more seconds. Yeah. Now it's coming up.
Stable.
Don't maximize. Keep it in normal mode. Yeah. You got it. Yes. So now we are doing the installation of Windows Server operating system. Okay. So just like in Linux, first it is asking us the language and then the time and currency format and keyboard input method. Click on next. Now install now. In Linux, we did a couple more steps, right? So uh, yeah, this is Windows Server 2022. So in
Mm.
2022, there are two different editions, I would say. One is you can see standard, and the second one you can see data center. Okay. What is the difference? The difference is the tools and utilities that are present inside that edition. Obviously, standard edition will have lesser number of tools installed in it. Okay. Whereas the data center edition will have the full capability of the Windows operating system. Okay. And you see that within standard and within data center also there are two modes that you can see here. If you choose the one where in bracket desktop experience is not there, right? Just plain vanilla Windows Server 2022 standard edition or plain vanilla Windows Server 2022 data center evaluation edition, you will not get this GUI. Okay, so you will cannot do this click 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 click. Everything you have to do with command in like in Unix. Okay, so many Windows operating system administrators, Windows Server operating system administrators, they do not like that. They want that click, 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 click wala GUI screen. So make sure that whenever you're installing a new Windows operating system, whichever version, 2019 or 2022, please do select with desktop experience. Okay, the only then you will get the GUI, otherwise you will not get it. Right. So now we are selecting 2022 data center edition with desktop experience. That is the last option there on the list. Yes, click on next. You have to accept this EULA end user license agreement. Click on next. So it is asking, do you want to upgrade, that is install Microsoft Server operating system and keep the files and settings, or you do custom installation? Okay. Now we will choose custom installation so that we can pick and choose what all we want. Okay. So yeah, select on custom install. Yeah. Now it's saying 50 GB. So that is the drive. Same thing we chose in Linux also, that partition there. Slash SDA was given as the disk name or the device name. Okay. Here Windows will give a drive letter or a drive number. Okay. So here it is saying drive 0. So the same device when identified in Linux has a different name, and when identified in Windows has a different name. Okay. But physically it's the same thing. All right. So select that drive 0. It's already selected.
Install.
Yeah. Click on next. Now it is copying the files and getting ready for installation. The same thing happened in Linux also. We had seen a couple of classes back that it was depending upon what we had selected, it was downloading all the packages called RPMs, right? From Linux, Red Hat Linux cloud to be installed. It is doing the similar thing here. It had copied all the files required for Microsoft Windows Server installation, and now it is preparing the package for it to be installed. This is going to take some time. Okay. Can you go to the task manager, Bhanu, once? Yes. So you see the hard disk, the SSD, okay, and the CPU. We are really pumping it hot. Okay. We are trying to utilize the maximum uh, hardware resources here. So just a logical question to all of you. Do you think it is advisable to install one more virtual machine on this hardware? From what you're seeing right now, in terms of CPU utilization, in terms of memory utilization, in terms of hard disk utilization, do you think it is advisable to have one more virtual machine on this base hardware? Anyone? Hello?
Sir.
We can able to install one more operating system on top of it.
Uh-huh. My advice would be no. Technically, depending upon the numbers that you are seeing as the resources available, you may want to really push it to 100%. Okay. But my advice is no. The reason behind that is whenever I have seen systems being pushed to 100% utilization, the chances of the hardware crashing is very, very high. Okay. And when it crashes, everything is gone, right? So whatever you had created on that system, everything will be gone unless you have backed it up somewhere, right? So always remember, you should push a system to its 100% utilization only in extreme circumstances. Okay. Otherwise, when you're planning and doing sizing, okay, you better keep it to somewhere 60 to 70% utilization only. So the best performance from the system you will get when the system is performing somewhere around that anywhere between 60 to 80% mark. Okay. The moment it starts crossing 80% and 90%, that means the system is being stretched. Okay. It's really, performing more than ideal, situation. So what happens is the processor starts heating up more, the RAM starts heating up more, the hard disks also start heating up more, and it's not just due to the heat, but that constant, you know putting pressure in terms of performance is going to degrade the life of that particular machine, and the chances of that machine crashing becomes higher. So my sincere advice to all of you, whenever you are doing your exercises and converting your machine into a virtualization machine, just don't keep loading it just because you can or just because it's allowing you to. Okay. You should take it slow, it should take it consciously, do it in a phase wise manner, uh, and try to keep the overall utilization of the hardware anywhere between 60 to 80%. Okay. I would advise don't go beyond 80% utilization, though it may allow you to. Manu, you already have VMware installed on this, is it?
Sir?
In your system?
Oh, no, sir.
Then why the hard disk is showing VMware Virtual SCSI disk drive?
It's a VM, sir.
Which one is a VM?
This complete machine is a VM, sir.
This Windows 11, what you are seeing is a
11.
VM.
Yeah, yeah. Yes,
Then
yes,
which
right.
is the base operating system?
This one is my personal laptop, sir, Windows 11.
Okay, you close this task manager.
Hmm.
So this Hyper-V is inside the VM.
This Windows 11 is also a VM, sir.
So you have enabled Hyper-V inside the VM.
Hmm. Right.
That's why it's so slow.
Hmm.
Hmm. Can you go to the base OS or now we can't? That's okay. Let us complete this. Okay, while this is happening, yesterday in the WhatsApp group, I had shared one job requirement. So we are actually hiring interns who are Red Hat certified. So if you know anyone who qualifies, please do share their resume to me or to the email ID mentioned in that screenshot. Okay, it's done. The system is restarting. Same thing we did in Linux also. This time we will not boot from CD or DVD because already the OS is loaded. Only the first time when we are, installing the operating system, only then we will boot from that ISO image. Okay. But once the OS has been successfully installed, you are not going to boot from that ISO image again. Otherwise, what will happen is again it will start the installation. Okay. And it will keep going on like this. So ideally, when we are in the physical world, once the OS has been installed, we will eject that CD or USB drive from the system after the initial installation. Okay, once it is restarting. But here in the virtual machine, we have attached the ISO, so that it is giving us an option during boot up whether you still want to boot up from that ISO. Okay. Okay. Just like in Linux, how root is the first user or the main user in the OS. Here it is administrator. So we have to set the main administrator use password. Okay. So here it is asking to set the display configuration. You can reduce a little. 1366 by 768 is pretty high. Yeah. Further, you can reduce it further. Yes, this is okay. And click on connect. So you can see in the background, the operating system has been loaded. And once the operating system is loaded, it will allow us to log in. So this is the password that we had set after the installation. Yeah, first time it will set up the user profile, but from the next time onwards, you will not see the screen. Only for the very first time, Windows will set up the user profile and it will save it so that next time the user logs in, they will see the same look and feel. It happens only our first time when we log in as a new user to the OS. And this is it. So this is how we do Windows Server installation. Okay. So which one you think was uh, you know better and faster, Linux or Unix or Windows? Sorry, Linux or Windows?
Linux.
Yes. And with the same hardware, okay, Linux performs much better than Windows. Okay, and that is the reason why lot of core critical applications, high performance computing applications, AI based applications, they're all built on versions of Linux so that they can get the best out of the hardware. Okay, they are not bothered about look and feel, they are bothered about performance. Okay, look and feel is for people who do not worry about performance, but as we all know, performance is a very critical aspect of running a data center. So once we install a Windows server, okay, this is not a Windows desktop operating system. This is a Windows server class operating system. Okay, we will see a GUI like this called Server Manager. Okay, and how to use this Server Manager, what and all we can do with it, we will see in Windows Server Administration, which we will start sometime next week. Once we finish some of the basic Linux things, we will get into Windows Server Administration. Okay, then we will see how to utilize some of these features inside Windows Server. Okay. Okay. Any questions with Windows Server installation? It's fairly simple. We select the ISO image. We selected the generation. of the virtual machine. We allocated memory, we allocated hard disk, we have asked it to use a particular network, and then it started doing the installation all by itself. After the initial installation, it allowed us to set the language and the administrator user ID and password. And after that, it did pretty of the things by itself. But we saw from a performance perspective, the Linux was much better, much faster than Windows. Okay. All right. So we will stop here today. We will continue tomorrow with Linux scripting. We will start a few classes we will do on Linux scripting, very basic. Okay. We'll show you how to create some shell scripts. This will relate to the programming language concepts that you all know, and we will try to run those scripts in Linux virtual machine. And once we are done with that, then we'll go to Windows. Okay. Any questions? Any doubts?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you everyone for your time today. We will meet again tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Thanks, Manu, for your help.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.